Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL News Radio, talking BYU basketball as the Cougars picked up a commitment from 5-5 transfer Jaxon Kohler. A side note, I know that there was some speculation maybe BYU could get former BYU guard Dallin Hall into the fold just moments ago. The former BYU and Virginia guard who also falls in the 5-5 camp. He just announced on his personal Instagram page that he has committed to Utah State. So Dallin Hall off to the Pac-12 up in Logan with Ben Jacobson and the Utah State Aggies. He'd been practicing with BYU over the summer. I heard there was also Iowa State was in the mix for Dallin Hall. Utah State, though, the spot there. I would have liked the story with Dallin Hall, but I won't claim to know Utah State's roster right now. Heck, do we know anyone's roster at this point, really, outside of maybe BYU's in college basketball? But it would have been cool to see Dallin Hall back at BYU, had that worked as a backup guard coming off the bench. Yeah,
I think so, too. I still think back to that game he had against Iowa State, his junior season, where BYU upsets Iowa State. Iowa State is ranked inside the top 10, and he throws down that big dunk. We were talking last night when all this was being discussed, and I just kept thinking, I don't want him to go to Iowa State because that would just that would ruin that highlight forever. So, I think he'll do well at Utah State. I have no idea what the roster looks like, but you got to think he's going to be a starting player. Utah State they're always competitive. They'll probably make the NCAA tournament, so I think it's a good fit for him.
For BYU, now with the addition of Jaxon Kohler, what would be your starting five?
My starting five, I would start Rob Wright at the 1, Colin Chandler at the 2, Bruce Branch at the 3, and then at the 4 is where I think it can get a little iffy.
Yeah.
I think I would go with Hadim Boop at the 4.
Interesting.
And then at the 5 with Kohler.
Okay.
So I think the reason I would go with Boop is because I think he's going to make a big jump from last year, because I think we saw it in spurts. Like that Wisconsin game was probably BYU's best of the season, and he was phenomenal that game. So I think he's going to make improvements this offseason, and it's going to be to the point where you can't really keep him off the floor.
I like that. I like, obviously, Rob Wright, Colin Chandler, I think Bruce Branch. I think those are probably safe. I could see a world where maybe Bruce Branch becomes a sixth man, and you might think, oh, that's crazy. Like he's going to be an NBA prospect. I mean, there have been examples of elite lottery picks coming off the bench. Karl Anthony Towns, an NBA champion. He was a sixth man at Kentucky in his one season in Lexington, and then he went on to be the number 1 overall pick. It can happen, but again, I think Bruce Branch is going to be a key piece to BYU, so I've got him locked in at the 3 as well. I'm with you. I think where it gets interesting is just how you kind of line it up at the 4 and the 5. Kohler's going to be in there. He's going to be a starter. He's a plug-and-play guy.
Yeah.
I think the main candidates at the 4 or 5, however you slice it up, Boop, Jake Wallin, Tyler Betsy. Those are probably the 3 guys, and that's where it's interchangeable, and that's why getting Jaxon Kohler is so huge for this BYU team, because suddenly you've just got a lot of options with the lineup. You can do a lot of creative things, and I just think stylistically with this Kevin Young team, how wired he is for offense and designing great offensive sets and schemes. I just look at this roster, Nate, and I think this team is going to be explosive offensively. The thing I like about Jaxon Kohler, he can hit a 3. We haven't seen BYU and Kevin Young operate with a 5-man or 4. I think he's kind of more a 4, but he's going to have to play the 5 probably for BYU to have a guy at the 5 that can knock down threes consistently. And that's something Kohler developed over his time in East Lansing. That's just a unique wrinkle that we haven't seen in Kevin Young's tool bag, if you will. So I'm curious to see how an offense gets designed around 5 guys that could potentially hit the 3 ball. Shooting was a top priority for Kevin Young. Clearly, that's showing itself with how this roster was built.
Absolutely, because you look at that 4 and 5 spots, Jaxon Kohler, Jake Wallin, Hadim Boop. I'm not sure about Jakub Urbaniak, how he is from the three-point field.
That's a good pull, too. I mean, he's kind of developed it a little bit, but that's still a work in process. And Urbaniak is a great pull. I mean, on a perfect scenario, maybe he emerges as the 5 and then Kohler's the 4. I mean, again, you've got options if you're Kevin Young now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to watch how this goes. Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll break down some BYU football. Stay with us.